Welcome to Shul.com. We are reading from the book Enlighten Our Eyes by Rabbi Goldschmidt. It's a book on Enlighten. We are on page 74, Elevating the Whole World. The Mesilat Yesharim writes in chapter 1 that every mitzvah elevates the whole world, while every forbidden act brings harm not only to the sinner, but to the whole world. Therefore, every time you overcome temptation, you are bringing into existence a spirit of purity and holiness that benefits us all. The Chidah writes in Nachal Kidomim Bereshit that if Yehudim look at forbidden sight, then the forces of Esav and Ishmael gather strength. But if we take extra care to protect our sense of sight, then Esav and Ishmael will be wiped out and Mashiach will come. The call goes out to every Jewish man and woman to rise up and build a wall against that barrage of hollow filth. Through Siniyut, though Siniyut may seem a hopeless relic, old-fashioned and outdated, by dint of our unflagging drive for modesty and purity in today's world of applauded and sophisticated hefkerut, we will rise to preeminence, being princes and princesses. This is the light at the end of days. It's the tug of war for the holiness of Jewish eyes, after which we will take center stage, crowned with the glory of our King himself. The Midrash, Tanchuma, at the end of Vayigash, compares the happenings of Tzion to the life of Yosef. Rav Don Segal notes that just as Yosef earned kingship by dint of his undefiled eyes, so too Yerushalayim's swift return as a spiritual capital of the world will be preceded by trials centered mainly on guarding the purity of Jewish eyes. As unbelievable segula that Shemirat Enaim, according to the Chidah, will bring, in Nachal Kedomim will bring the Geula and the Mashiach, the real movers and shakers of this world. When Hashem breathed life into Adam Harishon, he breathed from himself, so to speak, something of divinity, entered the founder of our race right from his very first breath of life. The soul of man is a spark of the divine. Its spiritual source is higher than that of the heavenly angels. Think of the vast expanses of outer space. Then think how the soul Hashem placed within you is similarly vast, though in a very different dimension. Your neshama was hewn from Hashem's own throne. Let us not underestimate who we are. We have a principle that Hashem, in his kindness, has appointed Am Yisrael as heaven's policymakers. He takes their cues and acts accordingly. Little, quote-unquote, little me is a linchpin in myriads of spiritual worlds. When we do mitzvot, we are in fact pressing all the right buttons on the control panel of the universe. Even a single rejection of the impure will uphold countless spiritual worlds. But please note that it also works the other way around, and even one instance of giving into temptation destroys accordingly. It is not surprising then that some Amoraim chose to be blind so as to never see impure sights. However, there were an exception. From the rest of us, Hashem wants the rest of us to keep the amazing gift of his eyesight and to use it to carry out his own mitzvot. Kabbalistic sources tell us of the cosmic effect of restricting one's eyes from grazing in foreign pastures. The three colors of the eye correspond to the three avot. This lofty concept and many more similar ones regarding the eyes are discussed in Reshit Chochmah, in Shara Kedusha, chapter 8, and other Sefarim. And though their true meaning may be beyond our grasp, they at least give an inkling of the colossal effects of Shemirat Enaim. So he says the eye have three colors. You have the white, then you have the black, and then you have the center color as well. Keneged Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. Shemirat Enaim is literally a life-giving elixir, free to all. The Ibn Ezra finds a hint to this in Tehillim 119-37, where David HaMelech begs Hashem, Ha'avir enai mereot shav b'derachicha hayeni. Avert my eyes from seeing futility, preserve my life through your ways. All the inconvenience of looking down, looking away, staying away, curtailing travel and leisure options, and so much more will be paid for in handsome dividends to us, to our children, and to our children's children, writes the Sefer Hasidim Siman 495. So he's telling you, there are sacrifices. We read this when we read about the Gedolim earlier on, but the Gedolim, there was a consequence to pay for them in order to have their Shemitah Enaim. When it came to one of the rabbis, he had to replace his jacket often because he had to kept on walking right beside the wall, and it would rub against the wall and ruin his jacket. When it came to other rabbis, they limited where they would go. They would take long distances and walks to avoid certain streets. If the Torah promises generous reward for not tasting animal's blood, something we would in any case find disgusting, then how much greater is the reward for controlling our base drives for viewing things that invite and captivate? Meaning, when it came to it's asur for Jewish people to have consumed blood on any animal that they're eating. They have to first salt it. They have to make sure the blood was removed. Because the soul, the nefesh of the living creature is in the blood, and so when it came to that, which is an act where people don't have a desire for drinking blood of an animal, and you get a reward for doing that because God told you. Could you imagine the reward of not looking after something that you actually have an interest and is captivating and is interesting to look at, and there's a pleasure, and you prevent it? King Achaz was a sinner, yet he took care never to rest his eyes on women. For this saving grace, the Navi Yeshaya promised him sure victory in all his wars. So this is the tactic. This is the segula. How is Am Yisrael going to win the battle with the terrorists and with Hamas? It's through shemirat enayim and siniut. And so here is the key. The Hidah gives it to you. You cannot get it better than that. That through this shemirat enayim, if the soldiers and Am Yisrael does it, the Geulah is going to come right away. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen v'amen.